I Ain't Gonna Paint No More by Karen Beaumont. Hi, friends. I wanted to talk about author visits and author studies. And there's lots of really great authors out there. We just talked about Dr. Seuss recently, but there's so many great authors out there that I wanted to introduce you to one of my favorites. Her name is Karen Beaumont, and she writes a lot of really funny kids' stories. So I Ain't Gonna Paint No More is one of them. Look at that mess, huh? And the neat thing about her stories is they're really silly and fun. They're very upbeat, and they are different in the fact that they use different illustrators. So you can tell that the same author is writing the story, but different illustrators by their artwork. So David Catro, he illustrates for a lot of different people. He even writes his own stories sometimes. But here's one of the stories he illustrated for Karen Beaumont. Here is another called I Like Myself by Karen Beaumont. David Catro drew the pictures. Do you see the similarities, the kind of look-alike in the way that the faces and the bodies are made for these kids? So another one is by her, by a title called Where's My Truck? Again, David Catro is the illustrator, and if you look at him, the character on this book, and They Ain't Gonna Paint No More, Kiddo, you can kind of see the same illustrator, his style. Now, she doesn't just work with one illustrator. Karen Beaumont also works with other illustrators. So here's Move Over, Rover. And Move Over, Rover has a award sticker. It was actually the Dr. Seuss Award. So his company, his group of people that reads books, decided that this was a really good book, like what Dr. Seuss would like. Karen Beaumont is the author. Illustrator is Jane Dyer. So a different illustrator, and you can certainly tell it's a different style from these type of pictures from this illustrator. Another one story by Karen Beaumont is No Sleep for the Sheep. Sheep can't get any sleep. Looks like the other animals are a bit tired too. So Karen Beaumont is my author here. Another illustrator that's drawing the pictures. Her name is Jackie Urbanovic. She illustrates for a lot of other people too, and also writes her own books sometimes and illustrates them. So they kind of help each other out. And then here yet one more. She writes others, but these are just a group of them, a sample. Shoo La La by Karen Beaumont, and the illustrator on this one is Li Yuen Pham. So yet a different style. If you look at these girls' faces, they're very different than David Catro's face of a little girl. All very fun and very different. So if you ever want to check out a really good author, I think Karen Beaumont is one of my faves. And I thought we would read one of her stories today, maybe two, and enjoy a little bit of Karen Beaumont. So I think I like to kind of sing-song this one. It's I Ain't Gonna Paint No More by Karen Beaumont and David Catro, the illustrator. Let's go inside and see what it's about. Look at that mess. Oh my goodness. I think Mom's done with the mess. If you can't keep it somewhat on the paper and not all over everywhere else, it might be time to stop painting. What page is this? Title page. Very good. Here we go. Oh, look at Mom. She's looking all around. That paint is all over the house. Goodness gracious. One day, my mama caught me painting pictures on the floor and the ceilings and the walls and the curtains and the door. And I heard my mama holler like I never did before. On this page. Yeah, I ain't gonna paint no more. Look at that face. Ooh. Needs a bath. All that paint off. She puts them up way up high. He's sitting here watching. I ain't gonna paint no more, no more. I ain't gonna paint no more. That's what I say, but there ain't no way that I ain't gonna paint no more. Should he be sneaking up there and getting those down? no. I think his dog's saying, no, don't do that. Not a good idea. No, no, no. So I take some red and I paint my head. Now I ain't gonna paint no more. Ah, what the heck? Gonna paint my, you got it, neck. Now I ain't gonna paint no more. Still, I just can't rest till I paint my chest. Woo! Now I ain't gonna paint no more. Guess there ain't no harm if I paint my arm. Now I ain't gonna paint no more. I ain't gonna paint no more, no more. Ain't gonna paint no more. But I just can't stand not to paint my hand. Now I ain't gonna paint no more. Then I see some black, so I paint my back. Now I ain't gonna paint no more. Like an Easter egg, gonna paint my leg. Oh, that looks like an Easter egg. Now I ain't gonna paint no more. Still I ain't complete till I paint my feet. Now I ain't gonna paint no more. I think he should have stopped the first time he said it. This is a mess. I ain't gonna paint no more, no more. Ain't gonna paint no more. But I'm such a nut. Gonna paint my what? Oh no. Y'all don't faint, 'cause there ain't no paint. So I ain't gonna paint no more. Oh. And there is the end. What do you think? I think he should have listened to Mom the first time. But he really likes to paint. And he had a good time. I like that. That's a nice rhyming story, isn't it? You could figure out what body part was coming next by rhyming. So that is a really fun story by her. And then let's do Move Over Rover too, because it's such a great, great, great story. Move over, Rover. Rover, of course, is a dog. I just dropped papers out of my book. There's our title page. Karen Beaumont and Jane Dyer is the illustrator this time. So here we go. Rover's in the doghouse chewing on a bone. What a day to romp and play. Too bad he's all alone. Is he? Oh my, look at the sky. Thunder, lightning, mighty frightening. Rain is pouring. Oh, how boring. Do you see what's in here? Can you see in the shadow? Let's see. Rover's in the doghouse, sleeping through the storm. Cat is looking all around to find a place that's warm. Oh, move over, Rover. Cat's in the doghouse, sleeping through the storm. Raccoon is looking all around to find a place that's warm. Skit scat cat, move over, Rover. They all want to get into his dry house, huh? Raccoon's in the doghouse, sleeping through the storm. Squirrel is looking all around to find a place that's warm. Make room, Raccoon. Skit scat cat, move over, Rover. If we were reading this together, I'd have you always chiming in with move over, Rover at the end. So if you want to say that along, go ahead. Squirrel's in the doghouse, sleeping through the storm. Blue Jay's looking all around to find a place that's warm. Squeeze in, squirrel. Make room, raccoon. Skit scat cat. Move over, Rover. It's getting pretty crowded in there. Blue Jay's in the doghouse sleeping through the storm. Snake is looking all around to find a place that's warm. Out of the way, Blue Jay. Squeeze in, squirrel. Make room, raccoon. Skit, scat, cat. Move over, Rover. Snake's in the doghouse sleeping through the storm. Mouse is looking all around to find a place that's warm. Slide aside, Snake. Out of the way, Blue Jay. Squeeze in, squirrel. Make room, raccoon. Skit, scat, cat. Move over, Rover. Tight fit. Might split. Sorry, mouse. Full house. Can't fit that little mouse in. He's so small. Is a tight fit. Crowded in the doghouse, all are sleeping well. But then, sniff, sniff, they catch a whiff. Whoo! What's that awful smell? Do you remember? Do you remember what started the whole thing? Skitter scatter, what's the matter? Scamper scurry, what's the hurry? They're all taking off. Why? Skunk is in the doghouse sleeping through the storm. The rest are racing round to find another place that's warm. He got the doghouse in the end, didn't he? They were like, oh, you're too stinky. Oh my, look at the sky. Storm's over. Where's Rover? They're all out. No Rover? Romping, racing, jumping, chasing? No. Rover's in the doghouse, chewing on a bone, soaked and sopping, tail flip-flopping, happy he's alone. Well, they did cooperate and share it for as long as they could, but Skunk won out in the end. But Rover has his house back now. And that is Move Over, Rover. So some really great stories by Karen Beaumont. When you find a great author, go with it. See what all they've got. And that is our two stories. Those are our two stories for this week. Hope you enjoyed them. See you soon.